Hii serikali ni kampuni na ni ya shares, si ndio? Ni ya shares. Kuna wenye kampuni, wale wako na shares mingi, kuna wale wako na chache, kuna wale hawana. Sasa nyinyi muli invest kwa hii kampuni ya William Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua. Sasa lazima mvune. Yule ambaye alipanda atafanya nini? Simulipanda? Simuliamuka mapema? Mukasema mutaki kusikia mambo ya ile system na nini? Muka invest, mukapanda, mukapalilia, mukaweka mbolea, mukamwagilia maji, wakati ya kuvuna ndio huu. Na itakuwa namna hiyo. Najua wengine wananikachifu ati mimi nasema ati wale walipanda wavune kwanza. Iko makosa? Iko makosa?
Mimi nitakimbiza kama baiskeli ya kuibiwa.
So guys, I know most of you are going to criticize me for what I'm about to say in this video, and you'll be like, how dare you say that Gachagua is not going to be the president of the Republic of Kenya? And yeah, that is the truth, because I don't think Gachagua will be the president of the Republic of Kenya with some factual facts that I'm going to give you in this video that we have done deeper research in, and we are here to tell you that if you follow these facts, then you realize that the game is already rigged, the game is planned, and the president will just continue serving his term as the president of the Republic of Kenya. And I'm talking about Dr. William Samoei Ruto, whom most of you love and whom most of you hate at the same time, depending on the case or the scenario that depending on the side that you stand on. So yeah, I want to play you this video, and most of you will think that yeah, the people are wowed and Gachagua is gaining traction. And for that, let me play you this video. I want us to watch the video. Ruto one term. Ruto one term. Let's watch the video.
Munasema ni one term. Ataenda one term. Sema one term. Wewe William Ruto. Wewe Kasongo. Wewe muuaji. Wewe mwizi. Wewe Kasongo. Harambee. Aende asiende.
So most of you, when you watch that video, you see that Gachagua was in Githurai, and the whole place came at a standstill, and everyone was chanting the chorus after Gachagua told them that if I shout this, then just shout one term, one term, one term. And it is funny how Kenyans have taken that and they've formed a song for themselves, and they're enjoying the song. It is a vibe, it is on TikTok, it's everywhere, and I just love that. But that is the beauty why I love Kenya, because you just feel like nothing passes, however serious it may be, nothing passes without some comedy in it, and that is where you love Kenya. Now, listen, Kenyans, if you're watching this video, I want you to give me a like in this video and just say, and go to the comment section and say, you love Kenya. You just love Kenya, and you can't get out of Kenya. Even if you had the visa or the passport to go into another country, USA, Mexico, Canada, where, you just say, Kenya is my home, and I'll be here. No, that went out of topic.
Just moments after former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua launched his Democratic for the Citizens Party at the headquarters along Musa Gitar Road in Lavington, chaos ensued, with irate youth causing chaos while trying to gain forceful entry into the party headquarters. The melee forced ousted Gachagua to halt his entourage from leaving the premises, opting instead for a brief stay in his office. Once calm returned, Gachagua headed to his waiting SUV, but chaos erupted again, this time more intense. His security team fired shots into the air to disperse the crowd as tension escalated and stones flew through the air.
So the first thing is in Africa, getting a president to serve one term is difficult, because I want you to name 5 countries in Africa where they have had their president serve for one term. And I'm not talking about Biden. That one is in America. I'm speaking about Africa. Now, after coming to Africa, let us talk about Kenya. Tell me a scenario where in Kenya, the president has served one term. Now, in 2007, President Kibaki was supposed to serve for one term, but apparently, allegedly, things are said that something happened behind the doors and things went the way they were supposed to be. as the state's wish, not as the people's wish. And that is a different scenario which brought in the 207 post-election violence and a lot of things that people suffered at that time just because some people were not able to come into an agreement. So what I'm saying is, in Africa or in Kenya, to get a president to serve for one term is difficult. And listen, the guy that you want to serve for one term is a master plan, and I'm talking about Dr. William Samoei Ruto, because this is a guy who was outside, even when he was the deputy president, he was outside the government, and then he was able to take back the government in his own hands. So you can realize that this one is someone who knows how the game is played. This one is someone who is planned. Now, at that time he was the deputy president, and he was able to win the election. Now he's the president. He has all the powers of the country. What do you think will happen? Do you think he just serve for one time and sit there and say, okay, Gachagua, take on because you have defeated me in the election? Or do you think the guy is not planning right now? Now he has a lot of people around him that are master planners. You have Farouk Kibet, who definitely is the master planner, because I look at this guy and every event that the guy goes is always full, like it is full to the brim, and they know how to wow people. You know, they give people those big checks. They go to churches and they're donating 20 million. They go somewhere and they're giving out 10 million. They go somewhere and they're giving out 5 million. And now you want to compete against these people. They have already bought the love from the people. I don't know what you guys will say. I don't know. I know most of you are going to the comment section that they say, giving us money is not buying us, we are just there for the money. But the moment you have stood there and you are waiting for them to give you the money, like definitely you have them and you love them in your heart. However much you may not want to accept that. It's just like someone who says, I don't love that guy, but it is just the way he behaves that it makes him a cool guy, but naturally I don't love that guy. You just love him, you don't want to accept it. And most of you will get back and will vote for the president or the deputy or the... Now, listen, I'm rushing my words. I know most of you will get back and will vote for Dr. William Samoei Ruto when the time comes. Now, they have promised that the country will be in a good way, and they are saying that when the time comes, you'll start reaping from what they have been planting, and that is the high taxes, getting in to pay for SHA, getting you to smash your payroll a bit to fix some things here and there. But they say that after some time you realize that it was important for us to discuss such matters and for us to decide that, okay, we are going to pay taxes for what we are reaping right now. But Kenyans are not happy. However much Kenyans are not happy, I know they'll definitely at the end vote for the president. And now that goes with the history and how the things have been happening, because all these years you have been complaining about the worst powers or the worst presidential things that people do or the presidents do. But again, you come and vote for them and they win the election, and they're like, they're always winning. However much you hate them, your presidents are always winning. However much you pretend that, okay, this time we have changed, this time we're not going to do that, we are not our ancestors, we're not going to be lied upon to, we're going to vote our own people that have our own vision as us. And you're like, no, you are just lying. You don't want to accept the fact that you're not going to do anything different from what the history has always been doing, and that is returning all the bad leaders back into office. So Gachagua should be ready for that, because in Kenya, it is always the sitting president who is always having all the cards. He has the joker, he has the queen, and he has the spade. So whatever you want to do, you have to go through him. Another thing that I want to tell you, why it will be difficult for Gachagua to be the president, you can remember this. So the Chief Justice came out the other day and said this, and I saw it on a poster somewhere where he said impeachment is impeachment. However much the court process goes on, if you have been impeached, then you are already impeached, and that should give you a sign. That should tell you something about what is in there cooking, what is happening behind the doors. So if the Chief Justice comes out and says impeachment is impeachment, then you really know Gachagua was impeached, so that makes him unliable to serve as a president, even not to serve, just to get on the ballot paper. He won't be able to get on the ballot paper if we are to go with this sentiment that the CJ Kome said the other day, that however much you may try, however much you think that your trial has been appealed and it is successful, just know this: impeachment is impeachment. And for now, we all know that Gachagua was definitely impeached after his case went through the National Assembly, where it was brought on by Mwengi Mutuse. Then it went to the Senate, where it was voted. However much they tried to behave as if they were fair to him, or as if they were trying to act reasonably, but at least everyone knew that at the end, Gachagua's case was decided and karma had its fate. Gachagua was supposed to be impeached because the high powers wanted him out. But sometimes I don't blame the high powers, because I think, let's say you are a boss in a company and you have this assistant who is always going against you, or he wants to be the same level as you. You are the boss, but he doesn't want some powers. He wants to be you in the company. He doesn't keep quiet, he doesn't shut up, he just can't hold his mouth. What do you think will happen? You will get mad and you will definitely fire him out of the company. Now that is something, I don't know if Gachagua didn't learn that if you are serving, I think someone should have given him the 48 laws of power. That could have helped him a lot in trying to be the best deputy president. However much you may have your own opinions, you should always wait for your time for you to implement those opinions. But if you're under someone, then definitely just make sure that you do whatever the other person needs. Never compete your boss. It is one of the 48 laws of power, if you have read that. And another law is bring your enemies closer and bring your friends close. Now Gachagua didn't know how to bring his enemies closer. At that time he was criticizing them and telling them, okay, you guys listen, the government is all about shareholding, so you guys who are out there who are my enemies will not get anything because you don't deserve anything. He just didn't realize that you are supposed to eat with your enemies, so that when your system turns against you, your enemies and some of your few friends will save you. But when the time reached, let's say like the impeachment case, he didn't have anyone to save him because he only ate with his friends. So that is another case that made him lose everything. And I think with the impeachment scenario, then Gachagua will not be able to run again in 2027. And I know the courts, how our courts behave, you really know where the case is headed to. Even if he goes there and he says the IBC has refused to put me on the ballot paper, they'll be like, yeah, bro, listen, you are impeached, so you better go back then and do the impeachment before you come back here for you to be able to get your name on the ballot papers. So guys, another thing is Gachagua, when he's campaigning, he only campaigns in his areas. I don't know if that is the case, because he's behaving like some of the Western leaders who only when they are campaigning, they go to Bungoma, they reach Busia, they come back to Trans Nzoia, and then they come back to Bungoma, and they're telling their people, okay, we are looking for presidency. If you're looking for presidency, you have to go out of your turf yard, you have to go out of your own home county. I look at how this scenario, Dr. William Ruto would eat breakfast in Bungoma County, he's eating lunch in Nairobi, and he's eating supper in Mombasa. That is how someone who's serious about campaigning for presidency works. But if you just want to campaign in Nyeri, go to Kiambu, come back to, let's say you come back to Moranga, and then at the end of the day you say, okay, I have a strong base. I mean, those people are sympathizing with you because they took one of their guys out of the government and they are not happy with what the system did to them. Can you come to Samburu? Can you come to Bungoma? Can you come to Trans Nzoia? See how much people love you. And yeah, for that, then you realize that, okay, this guy, to really win the presidency, it is a tough job, because the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, has a following all over the country. He's someone similar to Raila Amolo Odinga. The two people were supposed to go against each other, and now they're together again, and these are the two people who know how to campaign for presidency, meaning you have to have some funds in Busia, you have to have some funds in Vihiga, you have to have some funds in Mombasa, Machakos, Taita, everywhere. But when you look at this other camp, they only have funds from the places they come from. I mean, have you ever seen Gachagua come in this side? If not, when he was the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And at that time, he even didn't know how to use those powers, because it is at that time that he would have looked for enough for following. But He was more focused on looking on how to tell people that the government is about shareholders, and those people who are not part of the government should not think that they're going to get anything in the government. Yeah. So another thing is President William Samoei Ruto has his hands together with the Raila camp, and you really know what that means. These are two giants in the Kenyan politics, so really taking down two giants. And when you look at your camp, you have people who do not have a following, the likes of Martha Karua, the guy. Now, when you look at Martha Karua, she only brought 200 votes to the government, to the coalition at that time, which was Raila Odinga's coalition. She brought more less than 300 votes from her own tough yard, from where she comes from. So how can someone who has less than 200 votes make you a president? Gachagua, let's be serious. I know I don't have any hate for you, but I just want you to ask this question. How can someone who doesn't have votes, all she does is changing her political parties, colors, names, and then she comes back, okay, we are rebranded. What are you rebranded with? Can you drive a campaign where you are looking for new recruits into the party, finding new members? But now you have people who only have a following. Let's say the best term that I can use at this point is they're just community followed guys. Out of their communities, they have nothing to offer. They do not have numbers. Now you look at Kalonzo, he only has the following in the Ukambani side, and you're like, okay, this guy is going to make me the president. Presidential campaigns don't work that way. And if you guys look at the people close to him, look at Eugene. I want to trust that if Eugene comes to Bungoma County, he will not even make the town go into a standstill. And you are looking for guys who will make the town go into a standstill. So at this point, yeah, that is another factor that will make him not to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. Now, another thing is guys who reason with sense. Now, we look like, okay, enough of the sympathy games. What do you really bring to the table, and what do you really bring to the economy? Because all you are telling us is you are looking at your competitor and you are saying, okay, I'm going to do the opposite of what he's doing. He has kept their SHA, so I'm going to take out SHA. He has kept their housing, so I'm going to take out housing. Okay, we need to hear your ideas. Apart from taking out what he's planning to do, then what next? What next? It's not about, okay, skiza wa Kenya. The other day he launched a political party where he was like, we are going to skiza wa Kenya. Okay, everyone comes in and tells us that way, but at last you remember Dr. William Samoei Ruto, he used even to cry in church. And Kenyans are like, okay, he's the guy. 2 years in, Kenyans are complaining. But sometimes I blame Kenyans, not even for Dr. William Samoei Ruto, but for the whole political structure. You are the guys that always choose your political structure. So you are the guys who act like you are in a toxic relationship. So you get into this relationship, and your partner, he's always cheating on you. He's always lying on you. He's always he's not friendly to you. He just doesn't want you, but you're forcing to be with him or her. And then your friends tell you, the person doesn't want you. Why do you force yourself in there? And you're like, okay, he's just toxic, but there's one thing about him. What one thing do you want us to see? The way he trashes you around, the way he takes you as a joke, or what? Kenyans, I'm using that to show you how much you guys don't care. Like, you're always complaining how the Kenyan political system has failed you. But again, when elections reach, you are like the same people. I can't imagine that there are some people who have served for more than 30 years in the political space and they do nothing. Others have served more than 10 years. Others go for more than 3 terms, 4 terms. Imagine someone in his whole life, he has served as an MCA, then he went from MCA to an MP, then from an MP to a senator, then from a senator to a governor, then from a governor, then back to an MP. Like, you guys are the one who dig your own grave and come back to complain that, okay, you guys are hurting us. Who is hurting you? You are hurting yourself at the ballot box because you don't care the people you elect. You are just always there like, okay, this guy has given me 100 shillings. He deserves my vote. But I hope this time the Gen Z will change this scenario. Let us not just shout on X spaces. Let us just not be there saying, okay, we are tired of this political leadership and we want a new leadership. Then when the time comes for you to take votes, you are not taking votes. Like, you are waiting for other people to complete their work. Then you'll come back and say, okay, let us discuss how people have failed us. Let us not work that way. Another thing is, you know, I always wonder, every time Gachagua is attacked by mobs, but there's something that I learned called reverse psychology. What if this guy does, allegedly, what if, the government says those mobs belong to him? And yeah, to some instance, I tend to agree. Like, what if you wanted to win someone's votes? So you have to go out there and then do what people think that, okay, the government is hurting our guy. And okay, I don't want to say it that way because I don't know, it may not land well with some people. But yeah, let me be factual. What if you do that and then people love you and then you repeat it and then you repeat it? But every time the government comes out and says, we are not the ones who did it, it is him by himself. Okay, I want to give it that thought and give me your comments. Do you think it's the one that who sends those mobs to attack him? That is a question. I want you to fact check it. So yeah, guys, for that I want to tell you that makes Gachagua not to ever serve as the president of the Republic of Kenya. And I'm telling you, President Ruto is going to serve the second term, and he will finish the second term. And then his people come and say, okay, let's give him the third term because he has served better. That is just my thoughts. I don't know if he'll accept or not. Maybe one day I'll ask him when I get him the show. But guys, yeah, that was a fun thing for you to know that your favorite guy may not end up being the president just by the things that he said. Now, you know, sometimes I always wonder. Listen, Gachagua was in government, and all those things that he's saying are bad, he used to support them. The president would send him and will say housing is good, this is good, this is good. But the fact that you are out, now you want us to believe that those things are bad. I mean, Kenyans, we are not that stupid. We are not that, let's say we are not that dumb. We should just see the script. It is always the same script from the politicians. It is always the same thing from the politicians, just a different playing ground. So don't let your sympathy overrule the fact that these people always work together. You guys always hated when Ruto and Raila, you guys always loved when Ruto and Raila would go against each other. But look what happened. They went together and they left you to go against them. So that should send something in your mind and just share like that. Things don't work the way you think they work. All these people, they are fighting for something, and when they get the something, they share among themselves. So just don't be dumb enough. Make sure that you realize it.
Amid the chaos, one of the goons was caught and roughed up by security. This is not the first time chaos is witnessed in an event presided over by the former deputy president. Late last year, chaos broke out during a burial in Limuru constituency attended by Gachagua, followed by disruptions at an event in Shamata, Nyandarua County. More recently, youths stormed a church service at PCEA Mweke in Nairobi, where Gachagua was present. The ousted deputy has blamed the government for the ongoing trend of hooliganism at his events. But the bigger question remains, who is truly responsible? And when will the culture of political intolerance end in the country?